3, 2, 1.
Hey guys, let's try this again. You're listening to another episode of You're Human and I'm Dakota Meyer. It's episode 27. Yeah, it's just been an incredible week. Really excited. I say this every podcast. Can't believe that we're here, episode 27. We keep growing. And as I was saying a little bit earlier, I want you, because I don't know if you're going to listen in the next 5 minutes. So what I want you to do is I want you to put in the comments down below what you would like to see more of in the You're Human podcast. What do you want more of? What do you not like? What do you like? I want to hear more of what you don't like. For every one thing you do like, I want 2 things of that you don't like so that I can improve this podcast to make it the number 1 podcast, the number 1 call-in show on the face of the planet.
Which to me, it already is.
Yeah. I'll tell you this, it's the number 1 call-in show that I do.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. It's like when my daughters tell me that I'm the best dad and I say, you know what? I am the best fucking dad you got. You know?
Yes, sir.
No shit. Yeah, really just an incredible week. I just got done working out, swimming. I'm training for a 100-mile run that we're doing Brazos Bend. I think that's how you say it, on December 2nd and 3rd, whatever that weekend is. Starts on Saturday morning, ends on Sunday afternoon. Really excited about that. So I've been putting in some miles, a little bit of left foot, right foot, as we call it. And then also trying to train for an Ironman. I've got an Ironman that I'm going to do on April 27th. Got some big goals. I've never ran an Ironman. I've never ran a triathlon. I've never swam 2.4 miles. I biked probably 100 miles, but I've never biked 112 miles. I have ran a marathon, but my goal is I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there, because if I put it out there, I have to do it. I'm going to qualify for Kona on my first race, or I'm going to die. Either one, it's all good. But yeah, really getting ready to start putting in some miles. We're going to do a couple of training camps throughout, so you guys can come. We'll throw it out there. Maybe we'll do some meet and greets or whatever the hell you call it. Some training, some suffer sessions, right? Love suffer sessions. But yeah, I just got a lot of awesome stuff. I think I found, so self-publishing a book has been an experience in itself. I was really excited to write this book. I wrote it in my own terms. I know I've mentioned it 100 times. The title I think we're going to be stuck on is Why to What? And we're still working on the subtitle, but it just makes so much. It's a book that honestly, it's the blueprint of what I used and still use today, that I follow the roadmap of living a unconditional life in such a conditional world. And really an awesome thing. So last weekend, did some traveling, did some speaking, really awesome out in North Carolina, got to see a lot of awesome veterans. And then, this week training, going to do a lot of training. And then next week, training. And then the week after that, head to Hawaii. I'm going to be out at camp. I'm going to be out at, what is it? I can't think of the name of it out there. But anyways, I'm going to be at Kaneohe Bay, Hawaii. And then there's another one. I can't remember what the name of it is, but that Army base out there. And so we're going to be going around with Hiring Our Heroes. We're going to be holding job fairs out there. So if you're in the area, if you're a spouse, if you're a service member, if you're a veteran looking for a job, or, you want to just look for a better job, show up to the hiring fair. Really excited about it. Knives, what do you got?
You just kind of waltzed over running a 100-mile race. I can't wrap my mind around it, man.
What does that mean?
Okay, so I read David Goggins, that's his name, right?
Yeah.
I read his book, and there's a whole chapter devoted to his first 100-mile race.
Yeah.
And how he basically got rhabdo from it, and according to his book, was pissing blood and all kinds of crazy shit. He didn't train for it.
Yeah.
And it's a nightmare sequence, in the book. And as a man, I don't know, I want to run a marathon one day, and I will. But 100 miles, basically 4 marathons.
Okay, so Knives, I got one for you.
Talk to me.
You run the Marine Corps Marathon with me next year.
I'm in.
Say it again.
I am fucking in.
Okay.
I don't even know when it is.
Okay. Well, it's November. It's October or November of next year. So you got a year.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've dropped like 40 pounds.
So what are you gonna do
this year? So by then I should be even better.
Are you gonna do it?
I'm doing it.
Done. Y'all heard it. You guys heard it here first. Knives is going to run the Marine Corps Marathon with me.
That is rad. I mean, the fact that I'm with you, I mean, that makes it, that's a big why right there.
Okay.
So that's my question for you for the 100. You know, what's your why?
You know, like I have this theory, again, put this in the book of Dakota Meyer's theories, and we should give the book away because it's worth what people pay for it. So I think as men, even as people, but especially as men, I'm going to talk about men. I can't talk about women. I've never been one. I've never even thought that I was one. But I think as men, we're designed DNA to do shit to make people proud. Like we want people to be proud of us, but we don't want to be given it. We want to earn it, right? And I mean, look at animals. Animals always show off to other people, right? Like they want to be the king of the jungle, right? Like, you know, like it's just in our DNA, especially as men, to want to do stuff to make people proud. And so I think that like when you get to the point in life to where you're not challenging yourself and you're not going out and you're not doing hard shit and you're not doing stuff that you could lose at and that the stakes are high. And I'm not saying you got to go gunfight, but I'm saying like that you could lose, that you could fail at, right? That there's a legitimate chance that it's going to take a lot of work for you to succeed because that's what earning it is. And so for me, I think that when you stop doing things that are hard, when you stop doing things that challenge you, you start to lose yourself because you don't feel like you're giving people something to be proud of. And so, you know, it's like this combination of things of proving to yourself that you still got it, you're in the game. I mean, you look in some animal kingdoms, right? Whatever you call them. But when the male stops being the male, he literally goes off from the herd to die. And so many men have, well, you know, back in my day, or they're sitting on the couch at 35, 40 years old. You know, they've set, as Tim Kennedy says, they set their sword down. And you know, I did that for a long time. I mean, I got out of the military and it was like, well, you know, people were telling me, oh, you've done enough for this country. That's the most dangerous thing that you can look at a man and say is that, hey, you've done enough. You know, you've done enough, man. You ever thought about just taking it easy? It is genetically playing against us to take it easy, right? So for me, and that's where you see these men start to create their own challenges. They start doing that with their families, their wives, their kids. They start going out and chasing women because they need that challenge, right? And so for me, putting these challenges in front of me to have to hit, it gives me that sense of holding my sword, right? Still getting after it, still pushing myself to the limit, still seeing what Dakota Meyer has in it. I'm not against anybody. I'm not here to beat anybody. I'm here to beat me, right? And so to make myself better. And when I'm better, my kids are better. Lauren's better. My fiance's better. You know, you're better. Everybody that's around me is better. When Dakota Meyer's good, everybody else is good around me, right? And so, you know, that's kind of what my why is. My why is like I don't like running. So I figure if I'm going to go run 100 miles, can I run 100 miles? I don't know. We all think we can do something. I see a lot of guys out here walking around thinking they could still go get in a gunfight, but hell, there's 70 pounds overweight. They ain't fucking ran since they got out of the military. And, you know, they still think they got it, right? You still see guys sitting in their chairs looking like, you know, the Pillsbury Doughboy talking shit about that quarterback playing football because they played in high school, right? On Sunday. And it's like, yeah, we're all legends in our own mind, but are we still, do we still got it? can we still get up? Can I still go? Can I run 100 miles? Can I do it fast? Can I even make it? Right? In theory, in my mind, if I asked you, Knives, hey, Knives, do you think I can go run 100 miles?
I actually think that you can.
Yeah, exactly. But
because I know that.
But can I? But you know what I mean? You still got to do it.
You still got to do it.
You still got to do it.
But I know I know your why is there. And I know that out of anybody I've ever met, your brain, when it goes to a dark place, just gets it done.
100%. Well, it has up to this point.
Yes, sir.
But will it going 100 miles? I don't know. In theory, we think that, right?
We think that.
But like, you can either talk about what you could do, or you can live off of what you did do, And so I'm going to run. So this is my goal. My goal is, and y'all can't see it, but I've got a whole huge whiteboard over here. So 2024 goals. Well, so let's end this year. So I am going to launch. I have a hydration product coming out. I'm going to launch my book. I'm going to run my 100-mile race in December. And then 2024, I'm going to run an Ironman and qualify for Kona. I'm going to climb Mount Rainier. I'm going to run the Marine Corps Marathon. I'm going to qualify for Kona. I want to do a smoke divers course, and I want to run the Mid-State Mile next year. That's what I got so far.
Wow. 2024 is just like a year for adventures for you.
Well, it's a foundational year. And then we're going to do even more 2025.
Even more?
Yeah. We're going to climb. I want to climb Mount Denali. At some point, I want to climb Mount Everest.
Wow.
Right. That's what it's about, Knives. About getting after it.
So since we're on this topic, and thank you for giving that the time that I really wanted to hear you talk about that, especially running 100 miles. Like, it's such a mind blower. But I got a question here. What does your weekly workout routine consist of?
Well, it just depends. Like, I just switched it up. I was 100% training for the firefighter challenge. And so now that I'm past that, switched it up and going for this 100-mile race. And, also while building a foundation for my Ironman. So, I'm running 4 days a week. I'm strength training 4 days a week. And then we're getting ready to incorporate in swimming and running. I'll know that program for the next couple of days, or in the next couple of days. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at, right? Is like, just, I hire coaches though, right? We all need coaches. If you don't have a coach in life, you don't have a mentor in life, you're walking lost and you're not getting better. That's a fact. We all need that accountability.
Got a question here from YouTube. Hey guys, how can I be around people that are better than myself? I'm kind of a quiet person. I go to great private gyms with great trainers and PTs, personal trainers. I want to be around them more.
Yeah. Listen, start finding people that want to get better, right? I mean, listen, you're already going to the right place. You got to meet people in there. You got to talk to people though, right? Like, people, you got to get to know people. You got to get to know what their why is, right? You got to figure out what's important to them. Do they align with you? Here's what I'll tell you is there's no shortage of good people in the world. None. It's just a matter of if you're seeking them out. So, I mean, go find like you're there's no doubt that your coach knows that your trainers know where good people to train with are. No doubt. And one thing I do see people do a lot, and I used to do this, and we all do this, I think, to a point, is none of us like to be the new guy again. None of us like to feel like we start over. But isn't there so much growth in going and doing something you've never done and wanting to learn a skill that you know nothing about? I mean, think about, like, if you're the oldest guy in the room, or not the oldest guy, but if you've been there the longest, you're probably learning the least amount, right? Like, don't ever let the fear of starting over or the fear of being the newest person in the room be the reason you don't go try something new and challenge yourself.
Amen. What is your weekly running mileage?
So I run for time right now, right? So like it's more about time. Like my long run this week will be 2 hours. Next week it'll be 2.5, and the next week it'll be 3. And so like that'll be my long run, and then I do tempo runs and then recovery runs as well. But yeah, it's not crazy yet, but it'll build up. I guess he told me that my longest run before my 100 will be like a 9-hour run, and so just to get kind of get those legs feeling a little juicy.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Are you still volunteering as a firefighter?
Am I still volunteering as a firefighter? Yeah, I do. So I am a captain at Spicewood, which is the volunteer station that I work at. So yeah, I volunteer. I do a lot of training up there. I run as many calls as I can with them. I love Spicewood, Spicewood Fire and Rescue. It's a great organization. Really put the basics on me, right? Gave me the why, got me into the fire service, and it's somewhere that I'll always be thankful for. And so yeah, I still run calls with them. I ran a call maybe a week ago. But yeah, like I run as many calls as I can with them.
This is kind of very similar, 2 questions, but I'll ask both of them. How is your paramedic stuff going? And the other question is, when are you going to paramedic school?
So I'm actually in paramedic school right now. I'm going to be 100% transparent with you. It's an online school, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish it. I can't it's too in depth for me. It's just there's too much information for it to be 100% online, and it has really shown my deficiencies as far as not being able to comprehend reading on especially these skills, right? And so I think if it was just like information that I had to regurgitate, it would be a different story that I just had to memorize. But like to be able to perform the skills, it's not something that I feel real comfortable with right now. So it's been a struggle on that. And then the problem is whenever I don't feel like I'm comprehending and learning it, I don't believe like I have to back off, and it just it's something that it's been a real struggle. And it's not. I think it's just everybody learns different, right? I think this next generation for sure learns that way, but my generation, I don't see it being something that I mean I'm trying to finish it, but I don't know if it's going to happen.
Is online your only option?
For this school, it is. I mean, if I don't go and I don't finish it this way, then I'm going to make sure when I have the time to go through a program that's in person. Do you think you could do online school?
No, I couldn't even do in-person school.
Yeah, I mean, I think I could do in-person school because I'm really interested, and I love the medicine side of it. But as far as like learning it like online, it's just it's so much information.
Yeah, you got to be able to make it applicable in real life, right?
Yeah,
that's the part that to me, that's how I learn.
Yeah, and that's me too, right? I'm hands-on, and so it's just a different way of learning for me. A shit ton of people go through it. I mean, it's a very popular school, but for me, like, and I knew this was going to be a struggle going into it, but it has definitely pointed out how deficient I am at online learning.
Yeah, I got a comment from Blake. It's EMT on steroids. I felt the same way when I tried to do it online.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's insane. I mean, just the cardiology aspect of it has been, I mean, it's put me in a mental pretzel.
Got a question from Facebook. Given the climate of the current administration's inability to focus on combat, as was done in the past, what would you say to someone who's considering existing in today's military branches?
I mean, I think we're fine. I mean, I understand that the administration isn't focused, but I mean, that's been going on. I mean, look at the administration changes throughout just the war that we were in, Iraq and Afghanistan. I mean, it wasn't just all Republican. It wasn't just all Democrat. I mean, it was changing with every political environment that we were there, right? Like one day we're killing, one day it's hearts and minds. I mean, this is something that's been going on for a long time. And so what I say is that, look, if the political aspect is influencing at the level of the men and women who are going to go be doing the hooking and jabbing, we have a leadership problem in the military, not an administration problem, right? So I just think that like you got to get creative. I think that yeah, I understand that the environment has changed, but understand that these challenges that you face today in the military, as far as the E5 and below, are not unique to you. I've gone around, I've talked to Marine Corps bases, I've spoke all over, and the same challenges that I hear and the concerns that I hear these E5s and below worried about are the same concerns that I had and that we had when we were in, my generation was in the middle of a wartime. So they're not unique to you. It's just a matter of finding a way. You know, we don't have a service member problem. We've got a NCO problem that we need these NCOs to step up and start leading and stop looking for someone to tell them how to lead.
This is a right turn here. What's your favorite dessert? This is from Instagram.
Really, I mean, I like chocolate. Anything chocolate. I'm just gonna be honest.
I'm glad you're honest.
Yeah, I'll eat a Hershey bar. I would eat 10 Hershey bars a day if it was up to me.
Dang, if only. Got another question from IG. I kind of want to answer this for you. But how you doing? You good?
I'm so good. I live the best day of my life every day. You know, I was telling someone this morning, you know, look, I don't want it to be like I don't have bad moments. Like I do, right? I have shitty people in my life, especially right now, that you got to get rid of. But like, and you know, people disappoint you. All these things are normal in life, but like, I don't know the last time I've had a bad day. I've had bad moments. I've had bad events. I've had bad people. Like there's been segments, but like, I don't know the last time I've had a truly a bad day. Like I wake up every day and I literally live the best day of my life.
Dude, you are the best I've ever seen you.
There you go.
It makes me want to step up my game. Like it's just so cool to see you this way. And also you're fucking fit, man.
Dude.
Shredded.
Trying to get there, man.
Any ideas on how to quit drinking?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you gotta change your whole lifestyle, right? One of my close friends right now, we're going through this, and I understand there is a physical aspect to it, right? And so I don't know how much you're drinking. I don't know how often you're drinking. I don't know how dependent you are, right? So there is a physical piece to this that you know, withdrawals are real and they're hard. But what I'll tell you is you have to want to do it. And if you want to do it, you can do it. And you just have to quit. You have to stop putting yourself in positions to do it. You have to believe why you're quitting. You shouldn't, you know, it doesn't matter if somebody's threatening to leave you or you're if you're quitting because of the consequences of not quitting, you're going to go back to drinking. If you're quitting because you're motivated to quit because you truly want a better way of life, then you'll stick to it. So you need to figure out why you're quitting. If you're quitting because everybody else is telling you to quit, well, don't fucking quit, right? Because you're going to go back to it. If you don't want to quit for yourself and you don't see not just the impact that you're making of hurting other people, which I'm sure happens if you're thinking about wanting to quit, but if you can't see how much better of a person that you can be by quitting, then don't fucking waste your time on quitting. Just being honest with you.
Do you think you could be an alcoholic? This is my question. Do you think you could be an alcoholic but have never drank before? Like have an alcoholic brain, but you never touched it?
No.
Interesting.
I don't.
Very interesting. I've never really drank. I had champagne on my wedding day and I thought it tasted like shit.
I mean, it's like people who say that they're fat because it's hereditary, right? So like, I understand that you might have, you know, genetics that want you to be fat, but like people just want to find something else to blame it on, right? You can still make the choice. Like you're not going to get fat by eating healthy food. Not happening.
Right on.
You know what I mean? Like if you eat healthy and you watch your nutrition and you watch your macros, you won't get fat.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Got a question from Facebook from Jeremiah. If I'm disciplined in all areas but physical fitness due to a lack of time, how do I prioritize better?
If I what? Do it again.
If I'm disciplined in all areas except physical fitness due to lack of time, how do I prioritize better?
You're just not making time for it. Like if the time excuse is the easiest, most convenient excuse ever. I guarantee you, Jeremiah, if you'd call in, is he in the comments?
He's in the comments.
If you'd call in, we could diagnose this and go through it, right? You got time for what you want time for, right? And listen, me training as much as I train, I don't get to hang out with my friends very much. I don't, but guess what? That's part of it. If my friends want to come train with me, they can hang out with me there. But if they don't want to train with me, well, I don't have time for them because my goals are bigger than everything around me, right? Like I make time for my kids. Lauren supports me on all of it. But again, like I know what I need and I know what I need to do to be good. And listen, anybody can come work out with me. You can come train with me. You can go swim with me. You can go run with me if you want to spend time there. But if not, then, I got to do what's best for me and I got to put me first. And so I think, Jeremiah, like you need to put you first. And if you want to diagnose that and you want to go through it, hit me up. I'd love to talk about it. Definitely would love to help. I'd love to help you find time to be who you want to be.
I love that. Question from YouTube. With everything that you're involved with, how do you have time for family and children?
It's about quantity. It's about quality, not quantity. I was trying to say that. To me, it's about quality, not quantity. Yeah. Do I get to spend a shit ton of time with my family? I don't, right? But how often are you spending conscious time like with your family? Like when I'm with my kids, like I'm dialed into them. When I'm with Lauren, she's my focus. It's intentional. How often do you call just sitting in your chair watching TV as your kids are upstairs time with your family? How often is that considered time? Is it time? It's not. So, yeah, I mean, am I sitting in my chair? Are we sitting down having a movie night every night? Are we sitting down? No, but we eat dinner together every night at the kitchen table. I'm there for that, right? I get up every morning, take them to school most mornings. Lauren takes them sometimes. I pick them up from school. We talk about their day. We're engaged when we do have time together, right? And so, the question is what type of time are we talking about? You know what I mean? So to me, I have intentional time. Like, people say that, everybody's got an agenda. Well, so you should have an agenda. You should have an agenda on everything you do. If you don't have an agenda with everything that you do, then you're wasting everybody's fucking time. I have an agenda when I'm with my kids to hear how their day is, to see where I can help guide them, to make sure they know that I love them, to empower them to be what they need to be, to see where they need me at, right? When I'm with Lauren, like I have an agenda. I have an agenda to make sure that she knows I care about her, to make sure she knows I love her, to make sure that she feels supported, protected, all the things that I have promised and that my roles are to fulfill. I have an agenda. When I go to the gym, I have a fucking agenda to get better. When I'm here doing the podcast, I have an agenda, right? People talk about the agenda and they're like, I don't know if it's good or not.
This might
You should always have an agenda.
Jeremiah.
Okay. Hey, it's Dakota with Your Human Podcast.
Hey, it's Jeremiah calling you.
What's up, bro?
Hey, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
Long-time fan.
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm here. I'm at home. Got booted off the job a little early. I got a degenerative disc disease, so it flares up like every 4 months. So
dang, man.
I'm not letting it get me down, but I can't help it sometimes. But I'm here.
Let me ask you.
I figure while I'm sitting on the chair, I can seek out for some advice. I've been following you and Jocko for some time now.
Hell yeah, man. Well, I'm sorry to hear about that. What do you do for work?
So I was a law enforcement veteran for about 10 years, and then a good friend of mine approached me. He does concrete cutting, which is a very niche market.
Yeah.
But
That's a hard job, bro.
It is, and he's wanting to retire in the next 5 to 10 years. And so I'm kind of come on board with him, and I have a history in the trades, but it's always, again, the back issues kind of. And I'm not trying to lean on that with a crutch.
No, but it's also real. It's also real.
It's exactly. It's a fact.
Yeah.
I can't, as much as I don't want it to be.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean, like,
it is what it is.
As much as, you know, and I've had this discussion, but, you know, as much as people, you know, our excuses are lies sometimes, but like they're not all lies. You know what I mean? And so like, but how do we help, you know, navigate them to minimize the impact that they make, right? That's what it kind of comes down to. And man, listen, to have a back problem and to go into concrete, I mean, bro, the only thing you could have done probably as crazy is if you went into roofing.
Yeah, well, that's true. You've been over more often than not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you said you're pretty disciplined and everything else. I mean, gosh, you're a cop. But the physical aspect of it, and you know, I by far wasn't picking on you at all.
Oh no, thick skin. I got thick skin. Again, I was a vet for 10 years, so we're good.
Yeah. But here's what I tell you, man. What time do you go to bed?
About 8 to 8:30.
What time does work start?
I'm up at 4:15.
And what time you get off?
Yeah, that's the great question.
You just never know.
It's
It's
not typical 9 to 5, right?
Yeah, 100%.
It's an hour and a half drive to work to Nashville, and then you're back, and then.
So let me ask you this: what if you push that work? Asked if you could get there, if you could have an hour, you get up at the same time, and you have that hour to work out and then go to work.
That's the thing is I mean, I hear what you're saying. Is the set times are pretty set because you're usually a sub at a job and they're waiting on you at a designated time is usually the thing. I mean, I could probably get up earlier. Yeah, I could probably get up at like 3:30, 3:15.
But you would have to go to bed at 7.
Yeah, per se.
You know what I mean? Like if you're going to get up at 3:15, I mean, because you're working all day long.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this. Because listen, is it your lower back?
Yeah, it's like L5 area.
Yeah. So
it's not all the time.
So your lumbar?
It's the dumbest. It's the dumbest stuff because I can't pinpoint. I've always had the issue, but it's not always flared up. You know what I mean? Because I probably didn't help it because I'd get on a kick because when I was at my last law enforcement job, there's a lot of walking and downtime. So I'd be like, oh, I'm just going to throw some panels on and I'll do, you know, a 3-mile ruck on my beat, you know, and our supervisor didn't have an issue with that. The problem was when I got a little cocky and I was like, oh, you know what would be even better?
Yeah.
Is if I deadlifted 450 pounds. And then you know, when you have undiagnosed back issues at that time, you just think, oh, it's just, you know, I already got a fat back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then that really just spiraled it.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I'm like, well, you don't have to. Why in the world would I need to lift up 450 pounds? You know, a foot and a half off the ground. That's kind of dumb.
You're right,
So
but doing deadlift
what
is
else
still important, right? Doing deadlift,
right.
You know,
I don't want the dichotomy.
Yeah,
I don't want to be over on this side going, well, I can't do all the weight, so
yeah,
I might as well just be depressed and do none of the weight.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of dumb. So. Where's my in between? I'm thinking, do I need to do a 20-minute thing where it's just
well, I mean,
let's get my heart rate up, let's do some isolated stuff, and then I need to figure out, you know, how that fits into what I got going on.
So be honest with me on this. Are you carrying a couple extra pounds? Like do you have a gut or no?
I'm not. I mean, it's not a spare tire, but it's enough where I'm like, I would like to shed 30 pounds.
Yeah. So here's what I'll tell you is, so when I got out of the Marine Corps, and look, a lot of your back problems are stemming up now because you wore a vest for 10 years with all your shit in the front.
Oh, for sure.
Right. I mean, that's the reality. And the older we get, you start feeling that impact that it made on us. And so what I'll tell you is for me, and I'm just going to give you for me, like I have lower back issues as well. Like I got 4 herniated disc in my lower back, and a doctor actually wanted to fuse me in 2011, put a fusion in or whatever, fuse my back together. And I was like, no way. And he said, well, the best thing you can do is keep your gut as small as possible because of the impact that has on the front of you. Right. And so, and it off balance. Right. And so like, I used to not deadlift because I was the same way you were. Like every time I deadlifted, man, my back would flare up. And then like, even whenever I would deadlift and it would get a little sore, I'd get scared that I've fucked my back up again. Right. But it's like, well, it's sore, not hurt, it means it's getting stronger. And so what I did man, I got on my diet and, I just try to keep my gut down. And then I still deadlift and I do a lot of core work. Everything I do for working out, like, man, I don't go heavy. Like I'm out. Like I'm not here to be Mr. Olympia. But what I am here to do is to strengthen stuff. So I still work out. Like I work out an hour a day. But like, I'm not an idiot, right? Like I'm not like, why do I need to lift 450 pounds? Right.
Yeah.
And so what's up? No, what are you saying?
Well, this is my thing. I mean, I guess maybe a better way of saying it is prioritize. Maybe it's not the time issue. I think it's easy to harp on that in my comment. And I'm not saying that you were, but it is, you do hear that a lot. But my question is, there's so much content out there on, do this.
Yeah.
You should do that. You should do this. And I'm like, okay, what do I know?
Yeah.
You got to be in a caloric deficit, but you can't not eat, because you want to lose 20 pounds in 2 weeks, or some nonsense like that. But I want to be healthy for my kids. They're in jiu-jitsu and they do that 2-3 days a week. And I think about it, I'm like, man, well, that's a great, my kid's going to go to the adult class soon.
Yeah.
And I'm like, one of us is going to be there anyway. So why would I not just do that then? But then my back scares me because you get some 18-year-old kid that's a berserker and he wants to put you in a pretzel. And I'm like, look, bro, I've got to work tomorrow to pay my bills. So don't break me or I'm going to literally shoot you in the face.
So here's what I'd tell you to do for the next month. And then you can call me back. And I want to know because like you said, let me answer your questions here real quick. So you said, which program do you do? Because there's a shit ton out there. Well, you got to find the one that changes your schedule the least amount, that fits with your life, not that you have to fit your life around, right? You don't have the flexibility to do that, right? I mean, and so what I would tell you is I want you to get 8 hours of sleep, right? Yeah. So that number one, like your day starts when you go to bed, not when you wake up, because the most impactful thing to your next day is the rest you got the night before.
Oh, that's good.
And so I want you to do that. And you tell me if you can commit to these 3. And then the second thing is I want you to start writing down. You can get MyFitnessPal. It's a free app. You can just write it down on a log. And what I want you to do is the first 3 or 4 days, I want you to write down everything that you eat, right? Everything you drink, if you smoke, dip, or any of that. But either way, anything your nutrition, like everything you eat, everything you drink. And then I want you to look at every single one of those items and say, is this helping me lose weight or is this hurting me and keeping me from losing weight? Just one of those 2 categories, right?
Yeah.
And then I want you to cut out what's not helping you, right? And then I want you to at least brisk walk, something intentional. Like go work out, walk, whatever. It doesn't even matter. Just move and get your heart rate up for 45 minutes to an hour a day. And I want you to do that for a month.
So 40. How long a day did you say? Say that again?
45 minutes to an hour.
A day? Is that what
Yeah.
you said?
Yeah, a day.
Okay.
And like it doesn't matter, right?
So just simple. Yeah. So I guess let me track with you a little bit here.
Mhm.
So just identify what I'm eating, not necessarily change a whole lot at this point, but just identify the like, hey, there's this or that needs to come out of there. Which I mean, I'm not a Twinkie guy, but it may just hey, let's have one steak instead of two, or something like that. But 45 minutes a day, and then just try to keep the ego out of it and stay out of the free weight and trying to like go too big in the deep end too hard type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you look, here's what'll happen is the more you do this, you're gonna be like, man, instead of walking today, I'm gonna do push-ups. Instead of doing push-ups, I'm gonna do burpees, right? I mean, this is naturally going to get you to want to do more, but I've got to get the momentum started. Right. And the best way is like, if I sit here and throw, look, if somebody comes in and gives you the best plan ever and it causes you to change up your whole life, you're going to be like, well, fuck, this ain't it. Right. And so what I'm telling you is all three of these things, do you feel like you could fit into your schedule?
Yeah, I feel the food. Yeah, you're going to eat regardless.
Yep.
Sleep, I've had to really focus. It's been more between 7 and 7.5 hours, and I've been working on that. But
yeah, what I mean,
I live out in the country, so it's 35 minutes to the nearest Walmart, and so you have to plan everything. So I'm not against planning my life. It's just how do I be even more specific? Because if I'm doing for everybody else and I'm making sure my family's set, and I look ragged by the time I get to 50, that wasn't very efficient or helpful. So.
And I'll tell you this, man. I put, and not to cut you off.
No, you're good. You're good.
So you got to change your mindset. I just heard it right there. And that's why it's at the expense of your own physical, you physically and health wise. You got to stop putting everybody else first. And you've got to change your mindset to you're going to put you first. And let me tell you why. And like that people, look, somebody asked me the other day, and I said this on a podcast, but like, man, somebody asked me the other night, they said, what do you wish you would have done? I'm a new father. What do you wish you would have done for your kids, at an earlier age? And I said, if I could go back, I'd change one thing. I said, I would have never put them first in my life. And that's like people will cringe over that. And let me tell you the reason why. The reason why is because they had a half-ass example leading them. And when I put myself first, not only do I reap the benefits of it, but they reap the benefits of me being the best version of me.
Yeah.
It's like the airplane analogy, right? Of, put your oxygen mask on first and then put everybody else's on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's the same thing, man. Like, you're right. You're going to be no good to them if by the time that you're done taking care of them, then they have to turn around and focus on taking care of you.
Yeah, that's true.
How dumb is that, right?
It's kind of self-defeating. Seems like
it is, right? And we're caught in this cycle of, I'm going to put everybody else first, and really, then we turn into a bunch of broken people leading broken people.
Yeah. What would Joe Rogan say? Most guys are leaving the life of quiet desperation, and it's like not that I'm trying to fulfill that, but it's easy to fall into that, like what you're saying, and
it is, man.
And I would almost think like, because you kind of got my wheels turning about, it's not, me being first, but I would think that if it's something that, like, I was watching you, man, on your, you I think you've been doing like a slow body transformation, and I'm like, he's not like, he's putting some size on, but he's also, it seems like it's happening in a healthy, efficient, effective way. So I would almost think like, because me and my nephew, he just got a Marine Corps boot camp.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm digressing, but combat engineer school.
Yeah.
I don't know, 4 months ago.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, let's turn the spare shop, like the spare bay in the shop, into a home gym. So we kind of got that up and going, and then it's just, now what do I do? Like, I don't know.
You go out there and move.
Because I don't want to, it's right over here, but I don't, it's the family thing, and I feel bad about missing out family time. And I know 20 minutes sounds weird, but we're all weird in our own ways.
We are.
But I'm just, you've got me thinking.
But what's best for your family? Let me ask you this. What's best for them?
What's me being around?
Yeah, shit, yeah, it is. It's for you. You being around. Sorry about that. You being around, and let me silence that. It's you being around. It's you being healthy. It's you being, and let me tell you this. I promise you, if you'll spend this next month putting you first, like I just told you, you get 8 hours of sleep. Start looking at, just track what you eat. Track it where you're at, right? Like how many, write down how many calories do you think you're taking in a day?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And start tracking it. Like, we all think we know where we're at, but it's like we can make small tweaks and not even changing up what we do eat, but what we don't eat, right? Like, instead of drinking 2 Cokes a day, I could drink 1 and I'm saving 200 calories right there, right? Hey, if I just, man, if I only, if I stop eating carbs, if I stop eating so many carbs, by 1 or 2 o'clock, right? If I don't take my caffeine past, noon, then I can go to sleep faster, right? Like if we just start changing little tweaks, man, we could change your whole life.
Yeah. Well, and it's got me thinking, like, if you're in the gym or in my home shop or whatever for, let's just say 30 minutes to an hour or whatever, get the cardio in, whatever. I mean, that's something my kids can be down there for that too, and they can have, the benefit of being involved with that too, I would think.
Hey, let me say this. When we get off here, I want you to go look in the mirror, and I want you to say, look, I'm going to do whatever it takes to be who I want my kids to be when they're my age. You know what I mean? And you can't, they're going to be you. They're picking up your habits. They're watching think about this. How, and again, this might not even be relevant to you, but how many habits and how many things do you do that you inherited from your parents that you see yourself falling into today?
Yeah. No, not necessarily the big bad ones, but no, I see what you're saying.
Well, I'm not saying they're bad things, but I'm saying, like, man, I never learned about nutrition. My dad fed me what we had, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not not bad. I mean, not terrible things, but do you see yourself on the path of where your dad was?
That is a fear. That is a fear of mine for sure. Because my dad, it was the same thing. Like, oh, we got to make sure the kids are took care of, and that's my fear, man. Because he had heart surgery 3 years ago.
There you go.
Or an open heart, I should say. And I look at that and I go, I don't know how to do this different to not end up like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's that desperation you have, and you're like, but I also know that I can't just give up either, but I'm not sure. It's like running through mud. You just don't know which direction you're going now. Did
you know how to be a dad when you first brought your kids home? No, you didn't. No. We're all still learning.
Yeah.
So guess what, man? Like, did you know how to be a cop the first day you showed up on beat? Like, even though you went to the academy,
no,
you didn't, right?
It was. Yeah, same thing.
So guess what?
Stumbling through it.
And how did you get through it? How did you learn how to be a cop? What'd they do?
Well, you push FTO, and then you just had this passion to want to learn.
There you go.
I know I'm an idiot right now, but if I keep pushing with these guys that know, but you know what? You're giving me, you're using my own experience against me. I see what you did there. That's good stuff.
Hey, you like that?
That's good.
But
I see what you did there.
But see, the thing is, and this is where we lie to ourselves, and this is why I wanted to have this conversation with you. You know, it's not about you don't have time. You just diagnosed it yourself. You just don't know what to do. And man, that is the first thing to be like, man, I don't even know where to start. Check. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not that you don't have time. You'll find the time. It's about you just use the time thing because it is a real excuse. It is a real excuse. You're a busy fucking man. And you know, gosh, you can use that. Hey, look, I need to put into everybody else because that's a real thing and it's an admirable thing. But the thing is, man, is like you're no good to them if you're not gonna be here healthy forever. And guess what? Like, man, if you're not strong and healthy and your back goes completely out, well, they're not eating.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So you got to put you first. And you can't, because if you prioritize being a businessman, and this is what I try to tell people all the time, like if you try to prioritize being a great, and you see this, how many people do you know that are good family people and professional people? Not many, right? And let me tell you,
yeah, I would say not many.
and let me tell you why. Because they're either focused, like I tell people, hold your fingers up. Hold both your fingers up in front of you and try to focus on both fingers. You can't. You can't. You can only focus on one. And so my point being is that one has got to be you. It's got to be you. And because guess what? Like being professionally good, being, family oriented, all those things are subtitles to you, right? And so if you're good and you're the best version of you, guess what's going to happen to the rest of those?
Mm-hmm. Right.
You got to do it, man. You got to make it a priority.
Yeah, I think that's it. You just, yeah, I just need to make that time priority and just take those small steps and evaluate first, like you were saying. Just, all right, let's see what we're at. Let's see what we're looking like.
Just see where you're at.
Okay.
Just see where you're at. Like, listen, here's what I'll tell you. Hey, Jimmy tell you the real tell all for your time thing? Do you have an iPhone?
Yeah, iPhone, yeah.
All you got to do is pick it up, go to screen time.
Yeah.
And see how much screen time you have on a daily basis.
Mm.
And guess what?
There's all your free time right there.
If you just took 50% of that time and put it towards you, put it towards doing things that were more impactful to you being healthy, in order with the intentions of being a better version for your family.
Yeah. No, there's all your time. There's all the time we're needing right there for sure.
There you go, man.
I'm trying. If I'm quiet, I'm just trying to write all the stuff down.
No, I appreciate you. And listen, and but I want to help you any way I can. You can reach out to me any way. I'm on Instagram. You can shoot Knives a message. Here's what I'll tell you is I definitely want you to follow up with me.
Yeah, I will.
I want you to do this. I want you to do this, man. I want you to do this.
Yeah, I want to do it too.
So
lose you?
No, I'm in.
There you are.
I want you to do it.
Yeah, no, I'm getting another piece of paper.
Where do you live at?
Middle Tennessee.
Where at?
Do you know Cookville, Nashville area?
Yeah, I know where Cookville's at. Over there. Cookville's over there south of.
You're a Kentucky boy.
Yeah, right. I'm from Kentucky.
Yeah. Were you? Are you middle? Where were you at? Where are you at in Kentucky? Or where we're at?
East of Bowling Green.
Oh yeah, dude, I'm up in Bowling Green for work probably once every 3-4 months.
So my dad and my grandfather built the Corvette plant.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I put in 13,000 feet of water line. You know where the White House is down there?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, all through there. I connected in right there at all those locations.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy how stomping grounds overlap like that.
It
That's
is.
awesome, man.
It is, man.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I'll tell you this. Shoot me a message. Anything I can do to help you, I'm in.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
no more excuses. We just need results.
Do you just message you like on Facebook type deal, or
Shoot me a message. Are you on Instagram?
I'm not. My wife is. I'm not. I got enough social media.
Yeah.
I'm already robbed for time, man. You want to throw another social platform?
No, I don't. Shoot me a message. Send me a message on Facebook and I'll get to you.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, what's your three things? 8 hours,
What's
7 to 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah. 7 hours sleep. Track my food for the first few days. Exchange out what's bad for either nothing or a better option.
Yep, better
And then,
option.
I put down 30 minutes to 1 hour to work out.
There you go.
A day.
Yep.
I've got that for now anyway. So.
Done. Start there.
Okay. All right. And give me 4 weeks and I'll reach back out to you.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you, brother.
A question or something like that.
Hey, if you got questions, you hit me up.
Yes, sir.
Thanks,
yes,
man.
Sir.
I hope you have a good day. I appreciate you calling in, man.
Thank you. Thank you for all your help, man. Sometimes you just need to find out which side north is, not south.
Hey,
so,
that's all we're all here, right?
Yeah. Well, I hope so.
Appreciate you, man. Have a good day.
All right. You too, man.
See you.
That was like watching a live mentorship, like coaching call for me. Like Jeremiah was writing stuff down, but it's like we're live. You can go back to this anytime.
Yeah, man.
And all the answers are there. So thank you so much for that.
That was awesome.
That was epic.
That was awesome. Like I just love people, right? And I like, I just believe, look, most people want to be better than the version they are. I'm telling you, like I don't care what anybody says. Like nobody that's overweight wants to be overweight. Nobody that's weak wants to be weak, right? Like everybody wants to be better. Most people are good. And 9 times out of 10, when I get on a conversation like that, it comes down to their excuses or just covering up that they just don't know how. I've said this since a speech. I'll never forget. I was standing in a speech in Las Vegas, and it was the most impactful question. I always open all my speeches up for Q&As at the end of it because I feel like I owe it to that audience to give them the opportunity to ask me a question to where my presentation can fit and I can customize it to what they need to hear. And because if not, then all I'm doing is talking at people. That's why I like this call-in show. I don't want to just talk at you of like, time's just a bullshit excuse. No, call in. Let's talk about this, right? I want to customize it to what you need. And but the majority of time, so anyways, this woman stood up after my speech and I was talking about, people are great and everybody's good and like we have the ability to do good and we live in the greatest country on the face of the planet, right? Just really just firing people up. And she stood up and she goes, Dakota, I agree with you. I agree with you that the country's great. I agree with you that the world's good, that America is the best country on the face of the planet. But and I agree that we all need to do our part to make the world better. But how do we do that? And it just really, and I know you might have expected something way more impactful than that, but it really just hit me that like, look, everybody wants to do good. Majority of people do, 9 times out of 10. Nobody's there showing them how to do it, right? And the ones that are out there showing them how to do it, the Kardashians, LeBron James, all these people are selfish. Listen, the problem with the world is we've got broken people leading broken people. But the only way we stop that is that we look in the mirror and we fix ourselves first. And then we go out and fix everybody else. You know, that was my problem the last 9 years, 10 years. Is I was out trying to be a leader and I couldn't even lead my own fucking self. I was broken. I was out of shape. I knew what I needed to do, but I just hadn't done it. And that's the majority of us. And I didn't know where to start. And, you know, I feel good and I still got a long ways to go, but you know, I'm working on me first every single day with the intentions of being able to help and help others work on themselves because I've done it. And that's what's awesome about Own the Dash.
Got one question before we wrap up here. Did someone or multiple people lay out this roadmap, this blueprint along the way in your journey, or did you figure this out the hard way?
So I don't want this to sound arrogant, but this is what my why to what book came into. People helped me by not helping me. Like, you know, say what you want. Where I'm at today, I don't owe one fucking person. I've had people tell me, look me in the eyes as they're telling me that they're helping me and they want what's best for me and all this, and everybody else is bad, and they're doing nothing but shitting on me and stabbing me in the back as they're wrapping their arms around me to hug me as they're jabbing that knife in my back. I've had people look at me in my darkest moments and not pick up the fucking phone whenever I've tried everything I could to help them. Like I mean, you can go down the list, and I'll tell you this, there's not one person around me that I owe that helped me figure it out. The only way they helped me figure it out is by leaving me there to fucking figure it out on my own. And I appreciate that, right? Was it hard? It was hard. It was hard. And man, I've messed up a ton. I still mess up. But I'm thankful that I earned it, that I earned where I'm at today. I love where I'm at. You know, Lauren had us take family pictures the other day, and I looked at it, and I'll tell you, it's one of the proudest moments to see that this is something I never thought I'd have. And I'll tell you, but I have a responsibility to get up every day and to be better, to be stronger, to keep pushing. I'm not done. You're never done. You're never fixed. You're always better. But you're never fixed. You're never done. You're done when you go in the grave. There's no balance. There's no balance to being better. Well, I'm only going to be this much better because I don't want to be too much better. I don't want to be too good. Right? I need to find a balance because you don't want to be too good, but you don't want to be bad. So no, that's not fucking life. In the book that I got coming out, probably January, I'll have a date coming up. Why to what is the blueprint that I fucking learned all this from. And you know what? When people say, Dakota, you're cocky or this, that, I don't. I have a chip on my shoulder. You me tell you why I have a chip on my shoulder? Because I earned it. Because I worked my ass off to get where I'm at. And I'm not going to let it go. But I'm here for the right reasons. I'm here because I want to help people. I love people. I want to help people be the best version of them. I don't care what they are, what they want to be. I just want them to be the best version of them, and I want them to be happy and fulfilled. That's why I started this podcast. The call that we just had is exactly why I started this podcast. If I don't do anything else in life, but I just helped that man, I didn't change anything about him. I didn't tell him what to do. I just helped him figure it out on his own. I just asked him a bunch of questions. I didn't ask him, well, why does your back hurt? You know, why don't you have time? I didn't get any of that. I said, what can you do? What can fit in it? You see where it goes, why to what? Why is emotional? Why is subjective? What is objective? We got to start living objective. We got to start worrying about stuff that we can change and not what we can't change. There's so much that we can change, and there's so much good out there. that if we just get to what is good, what isn't good, well, you can get rid of that, right? Not why is it good or why isn't it good? Who the fuck cares? It is what it is. Why do people do what they do? I don't know. What are these people doing? Is it good? Is it bad? Nope, it's bad. Bye. I don't care why. I don't care why they're doing it. Listen, but the problem is everybody wants respect and they want to be appreciated. They don't even appreciate themselves. You got to put yourself first. You got to put yourself first. This idea that everybody else comes first only came from everybody else wanting to bring you down and keep you weak with them. That's it. Change it up. Change it up today. Go out and own the dash. Go out and live a life that's worthy of living. A life that has impact on changing people, on making the world a better place. You know, we don't have a government problem. We don't have an economic problem, an economy problem. We just have a people problem. And we've got broken people leading broken people. And I believe that if I can take Own the Dash, the brand, what it stands for, and I can go out and heal broken people, not with pills, not with an easy fix. Most people want to be good, so they already want to be there. They want to be better than they are. They just need somebody to help them become better than what they are. Not do it for them, help them. Help them change their mindset. Help them believe in what they can be, not fear what they're going to be. That's how you change the world. So thank you all for listening to another episode of You're Human. And I appreciate you all. I hope you all have a great week. And I look forward to next week's episode. Is it going to be on Tuesday, Knives?
I think next week. Are you in Hawaii?
No.
It's the week after, right?
Yep.
Yeah, no, we're good.
Next week on Tuesday. Keep owning it.